good evening, my
Hello,
friends.
yes. My friends. My pals.
Yeah, hey bud. How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Two Peas in a Podcast. My name is Annika.
And I'm Vanessa. And today's topic. Oh, did you want to introduce the
No,
topic?
you talk about the topic this time.
No.
You could say what's on your little board in the back.
Oh, yes. So, this is related to our topic today.
Mm-hmm.
Our main topic today is about flirting and communication.
Ooh,
Whoa,
spicy.
I know. And
And
that's
by
why
the
we have
way,
this.
it says love is hard for
Love
those of
is
you
so
that are
hard.
listening.
Love is hard.
Very hard. My God.
So
Anyway.
hard. But yes, that is our topic for today. Just flirting, communication, or just like our past experiences, like with relationships continued.
Yeah,
Our
I guess
first
it's like a part
episode.
two. I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
we
there's
kind
so
of
many.
came up with this topic like on the fly.
Yeah. Plus, there's
Like you
also
came
so
up with it.
many just like different aspects of relationships too, not just like
Mm-hmm.
being in
I
one.
agree.
There's also just like
Yeah.
maintaining one and getting together and things like that, and that's always a process.
Mm-hmm.
So
So I
yes.
guess this time is going to be about how to get into a relationship. I guess
Even
like the
though,
process to get into one, right?
yes,
Like
even
the
though
flirting
we
part.
both, yeah, even though we're both not the best at
No.
it, or I don't think so.
Oh, I'm definitely
I
not
don't.
either.
um, but I don't know if you wanted to say like what your relationship status was.
Yeah. So, I'm in a relationship. Next month's gonna be our first year, and then we'll talk about it. Like I guess in the love languages quiz, because it has depends on like whether you're single, whether you're in a relationship,
That's true.
whether like blah blah blah. But yeah,
Yes.
what about you?
I am currently single. So when I did the quiz, I had to click. I didn't know that there was different like categories for
Yeah.
like when you took it. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, I have to choose." And then it just made me a little sad.
Oh,
but but I'm okay. But yes, single, kind of ready to mingle.
woo! Listeners, let's go. Hit her up.
But yes, that's me. I was in a
Mhm.
relationship, but not anymore. So
Yes, you can find out the whole backstory on that one in our first episode about relationships.
yes, you can.
Yes, you can. All the deets.
Yes.
Spicy.
What do you think like your
Out there.
flirting style
Mhm.
is, or like how do you think you and your partner got together?
Oh my god. Okay. I don't flirt. What, like I think when I was thinking about this, I was like in the shower earlier, and I was like, how do I flirt? And I thought
Mhm.
I try to let the guy come to me. Like I don't
Yeah.
tell them like, hey, want to hang out? I try to.
Mhm.
I guess I just try to talk to them more, and then
Mhm.
naturally like they just come to me. And being a Libra, I am automatically a very flirtatious person. So I guess I
Oh,
just give off
okay.
the vibe, but I don't necessarily go to them and be like, "Hey, I'm
Yeah.
interested." I would never
Mhm.
say that. Like, I just let them. I guess I just talk to them a little bit, and then we just talk a little more and a little more.
Mhm.
And then I guess that means he likes me too. So he's the one that asks me out, not me.
Okay. See, I want to be like that kind of person. Like
Mhm.
I feel like I would want the person to come to me,
Mhm.
because I'm scared
Yeah,
of like
me too.
communicating like that I like a person, and it's also just like really
Mhm.
hard too, right? Like you don't know what the other person's thinking, and like the rejection's
Yeah.
always scary too. So if like they don't like you back, like that's also something you have to think
Mhm.
about as well, like when you're asking someone.
Mhm.
So I would rather the person like ask me, but I also feel like
Mhm.
I'm very like passive when it comes to flirting. I also like I feel like I just generate like a very friendly aura.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I don't know if like the person like that I like or knows that I'm flirting, or I
Yeah,
don't
if you're
know. You
like
know what
just
I
being
mean?
friendly, or if they like you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand
right. Like
that.
I don't do any of the like, haha, you're so funny. Like
I do that. I try to I slap them a little sometimes. I'm like, you're so
I
dumb,
do
or
that.
something like that.
But sometimes like I don't know. I feel like I'm also like a daydreamer too, right? I'm like, oh, what if this
Mhm.
happened to me? Like, what if someone came up to
Me.
me and just like like gave me their
Definitely me.
number?
Oh my
um,
god.
but yeah, so I don't know if I have like a particular flirting style, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I just become like more and more, not aggressive, but like I'll just try to talk to them more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then like if it so happens like that they like talking to me too,
Like, hey.
then it just kind of like moves into like a relationship. Is that kind
Yeah.
of like how my past ones have formed?
Mm-hmm.
Just like us talking a lot, and then like slowly like feelings start to develop like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
between both
Same.
parties,
Mm-hmm.
and then one person asks the other person
Yeah.
like to be together, right?
Basically. Mm-hmm.
So yeah. This, I guess this goes to our next question. Has anyone ever used a pickup line on you? Or if not, then we could just say like our favorite ones
Oh my
or ones that come to
god.
mind.
Pickup lines. People even use that still nowadays? You
I don't
think?
know. I've never had one used on me. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think I have
So
either.
yeah, I
I know people
think
probably told me it's
it's
like
more
a
just like a
joke.
joke now. Like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know the one that comes to mind for me is like, are you Tennessee? Are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see.
Or like, are you today's date because you're like 10 out of 10, like on
Oh,
October 10th?
oh yeah.
Like
Yes,
something
yes.
stupid like that.
Um,
No, they never told me that, but
yeah,
I've read it before, like online.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I just read like ones
And there's also
like
like
that pop up on like
hmm,
I don't know what other
subtle
ones.
agent
I don't know
dating.
why that was the only one that came to mind. Oh my god. Are there any ones from there that you know?
I only know this other one's like, oh, did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Like really dumb
You know that
stuff.
one meme that's like there's that one meme that's like, help, I've fallen in love and I can't get up, and it's like the life alert
Ew.
grandma.
Yeah, like the grandma that's like, no,
Ew.
so stupid. I don't know why people still use these type of things nowadays. It's so ugh.
I know. What do you think? So, since none of us have really like had a pickup line
Hmm.
used on us, what do you think you would? How would you react? Like, if someone came up to you and it's like, "Hey, Annika, like, are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see."
I honestly think I just laugh. And I don't know if that might offend them in any way or makes them feel bad, but I
Yeah,
can't. It's just so. Ugh, I just have to laugh because it's
it's.
so awkward, you know?
I know. I would be like,
Yeah, no,
thanks.
thanks, but no. Yeah. I'd be like, oh,
I guess
thank
it just
you.
depends on like who it's like being said by, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Um, so I guess if it's like someone that I like too, then I'd be like, haha, you're so funny.
Like, oh my god,
That way.
no, you, or something, whatever, like that,
Oh my
you know?
god. I don't know. I guess if it's just like some random person that came up to me, um, I don't know.
Yeah, if
I
it was
I
someone random, I think
I
you
would
just
know how
laugh
to
it off
react.
and
I
be
guess
like,
I'd be like, oh
okay, I gotta
yeah,
go.
haha, thanks.
Toodles.
I get bye. um, yeah, I guess like in that sense, like it'd be kind of uncomfortable, right? Because sometimes people can be kind of creepy. At least that's what I've seen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, I went to a couple bars up in NorCal,
Oh,
just
oh
hanging
wow,
out with my
really?
best friend, and then I only went
Okay.
to bars in like NorCal. I've never been to one down here. And
Mm-hmm.
then she was single, right? And then
Yeah,
obviously guys would come up and be like, "Hey, blah blah blah," and
yeah.
then she would just keep talking to him, and I was like,
Oh.
"Dude, why do you keep talking to him?" And
Mm-hmm.
then when she went to go to the bathroom, he was like, "Hey, so I think she's like really cute, and like, hopefully, I can get her number. So you gotta help me." And I'm like, "I'm not going to help you. You
Whoa.
are not that attractive." In my mind, I was
Whoa.
like, "Oh my god, don't do this to me." And
Oh
then when they were talking to her, I
no.
was just looking at my phone the whole time because I don't want people coming up and talk to me like that. I feel like it's kind of
Yeah.
I'm kind of uncomfortable in that type of situation, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I could see that too. Like, especially if
Mhm.
he's just like, I don't know. I guess it depends on like his vibe, right? Like when he comes up to a person, or when you
Yeah.
come to a person.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if
Agreed.
anyone. I don't think anyone's like ever. Actually, no, that's a lie. One time, at you know how at our college at the beginning of the year they would do like the block party, like the beginning of the year
Yeah.
party. So my first year I had gone with my roommate because we didn't know anyone else like to go
Mhm.
with, so we went
Mhm.
together. And then there was like this one guy that like came up to me and like I think he was like kind of like out of it, like kind of drunk. And then he came up to me and he was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Oh."
No.
I don't think I ever saw him again, but at that point, I was like, "Oh God, I need to get out of here." Like,
Mood.
like no, not like one. That was like the only time that's like ever really happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just like such a weird experience, especially with being like new to a place too. Like you don't really know
Mhm.
anyone. Um, and then, um, yeah, like at the time, I was like taking a break from like my current or my boyfriend at the time, and like
Mhm.
after that experience, I was like, please, please save me, even though he was like 200 miles away.
Please save me. Oh yeah, I'll just drive down right now and come save
Yeah,
you. You know.
yeah. But then after that, we like got back together for like the year, and then sadly we broke up, but it's okay
Mm.
now. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's like something that happened a couple years ago.
It
Liking
really
people was
is.
hard.
It is. Like when you have to go up and talk to them, it's like, oh my god, how scary. You kind of fear rejection,
Yeah,
you know? I think that's like
yeah.
the
I
most
think,
scary thing.
mhm. And I was talking about it with my sister earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just like talking to a person you like is hard, and but also like just confessing like your
Yeah,
feelings to someone is hard
very
too.
hard.
Like I was telling her, I was like, I think it's also just it's partly scary because of like the rejection too, because you don't know like
Mm-hmm.
if they reject you, like will they reciprocate back, or like will they
Mm-hmm.
like become like distant from you and like not want to talk to you
Mm-hmm.
anymore, and
Mm-hmm.
will it become like awkward, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess those are like some things that people get scared of. Like I get scared of too.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I talk to someone.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah.
Yes. I had a friend that I was really close to. We used to work at a, like somewhere together, and then we
Mm-hmm.
just started talking more and more. And I was like, okay, well, he's kind of cool, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
really think of him that way. I was like, kind of whatever.
Yeah.
And then I got a Disney Pass, and then he also got
Ooh.
one, but not because I got one.
Yeah.
But he told me like once on, like, because we talked online, you know, like that messaging app.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I got it because of
Oh.
you. And I'm like,
Aw.
I don't know. Like, are you saying that because you're like interested, or are you just saying that
Mm-hmm.
because you're being nice? Because he was known for
Yeah.
being like a really nice person. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna take it like too into heart. And
Yeah.
then so we went a couple times, and it was super fun, like just as friends, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
there's this one summer where we just hung out a lot, and then he lived about like half an hour away from me,
Okay.
but he would be like brunch or gonna go to lunch, or I'm like, okay, sure. And then
Yeah.
people were like, oh my god, so what are you two like doing? And I was like, nothing, we're just hanging out. And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, is it not supposed to be? And
Yeah.
then I guess we would just talk more, and then it'd be kind of like edging into like the flirting portion, but it's also kind of like, I don't know. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like when I'm in that position, whether I'm like about to flirt or like not, I
Yeah.
try to like detach myself from the situation because I don't want it to, like to be rejection, you know? So I try to like space
Yeah. Yeah.
myself out unless I'm completely sure that he's
Mm-hmm.
into me, and then be like, okay,
Yeah.
it's fine. But I wasn't really sure in
Mm-hmm.
the situation, and he invited me to do an escape room with his friends and everything, so I was like,
Ooh.
and then went to Disneyland one time, and then we went on the Guardians of the Galaxy, and he
Mm-hmm.
held my hand, and I was like, huh?
Ooh.
And then we talked about it, and he was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry. I should have asked you before I did that. And I was like, okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. And then it turns out that we were just friends. We were both thinking about it,
Mm-hmm.
but then we decided not to
Okay.
because of like our differences and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like I don't know. It's just so unknown, you know? And I was already
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
detach myself because I wasn't completely sure if he was like
Yeah.
interested in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's the kind of one of my things too, where if I don't know if you're completely into me, I try to not get too into it, just in case I don't want to
Yeah.
have
Like get too attached.
face
Yeah.
rejection.
That
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah. I guess that's a good thing too, because then like if it turns out like the other person doesn't have
hmm
feelings for the other person, then it's like you're not too disheartened or like
yeah,
too
exactly. I think
like
that's me. I'm
yeah
like protecting like my heart, I guess. It's kind of
yeah
sad,
yeah
but
yeah.
because I don't want
But
to face like multiple rejections over and over again. That sucks.
oh no. But it just like helps you like
You know?
come to terms with it if it doesn't go the way you want it to.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's another point on here that says how to flirt slash communicate via online dating.
Yeah,
um I don't think I've never tried online dating. I'm too scared to.
I've never thought about online dating either. I just
Mm-hmm.
hear a lot of my friends that are online dating, and they keep
Oh yeah,
telling me
yeah.
all these stories, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"You sure you want to talk to these people?
Yeah. I guess
Like,
like
how
just hearing those like
scary."
stories like makes me unsure
Yeah, and
to like
then I
do
feel like
anything.
online dating is just a lot of like very cringy pickup lines, and then just wanting to hook up at the end. But I don't know. It's just
Yeah,
my
that's
perspective of it.
yeah. It just seems that like that's what happens a lot.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. Yeah, cause like I'm single right now, and it's hard
Mhm.
to meet people outside of
Yeah,
school
definitely.
and everything. So I'm like, do I want to join a dating app or do I just want to like meet someone randomly,
Mhm. Mhm.
or like get to know someone more, um, just out of coincidence, right?
Yeah.
Um, but like I
Well,
don't know.
my mom's like friend or something had like a son, and he went into online dating, but he went
Mm,
into it with the mentality that he was very serious about finding someone. So
okay.
then with like that mentality, he was able to find his wife. So it's like,
Oh, that's cool.
it depends on what you're
Yes.
looking for, and then how serious
Yeah.
you are to looking at your common interests and like how you communicate
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. Then
Yeah.
maybe it might work out. But I feel like
Mm-hmm.
most of the people our age these days is like, uh,
It's just so hard. I do
I
know like a
know.
couple years ago, there was so when like subtle Asian traits came out, they came out with like all these different groups, right? So like
Yeah,
there was subtle Asian pets, subtle Asian like whatever, and
cooking,
then
blah
they
blah
also
blah.
yeah cooking, yeah. Now they had also had subtle Asian dating, which was like
Mhm.
really big at the time, like because of like subtle Asian traits. So you would see like
Yeah.
friends of like posting about like their other friends that are single. Like I know one of our really close friends like had an
Yeah.
ad about themselves,
I was like,
and
oh, cool.
we were like rooting for them too.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, so I was like, I guess like in that smaller community, it seems less scary because like everyone's kind of just has the same. Or like you could see like people's interests and like comment if you wanted to,
Yeah.
or like
Mhm.
send a message if you wanted
Yeah.
to.
Shoot your
But I feel
shot,
like
they said.
yeah. Oh, yes. But yeah, I just remember like seeing like that wave of people like seeing that all the time, and people would like
Yeah.
invite other
See my
people to
feed, and I'm
like,
like, bro.
mm-hmm. It's like, what's happening?
I know.
um, but yeah, I don't know. For me, like I guess that seems less scary than like me joining like a dating app where like
Mhm.
tens of millions of people like could respond,
Yeah.
to me potentially. Like not saying that's
Definitely.
gonna happen, but like I'm just like hearing like all these like Tinder stories and like whatever stories about
Yeah.
like bad experiences
Yeah.
with
Like
people,
I
like
keep
people being
reading things
creepy.
about where like guys would like approach a girl, and the girl's like, "Oh no," and then the guy
Yeah.
would be like, "You're stupid. You're so rude." Blah blah blah. Blah. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh my god, leave her alone. She said
I know.
no."
Yeah.
Like what
I also
kind
hear
of?
it like I know like what kind of person, right?
I know.
Um, but I also hear like people that like catfish too, right? So they're like,
Yeah.
I read like stories about it happening. Like they'll be
Oh
like,
my
"Hey, like
god.
you're cute," and then like later on in the conversation, like, "Can you send me pictures?" like,
Like you're a
to
fucking
like,
dude.
yeah. And I like just hear like all these like crazy things, like how
Yeah.
some people will actually like send like these pictures to them, and then they'll like use it against them in some way, shape, or form,
Yeah. It's
and it's like
so
scary in
scary
that
out
sense.
there.
Yeah, because at first like you trust this person, and they start
Mhm.
like, um, or like at least the way it goes is like they start being like weird, like, oh, let's FaceTime, and then they're like, no, it's okay, like, or they'll like
Mhm.
deflect the question, and then like they won't want to
Yeah.
show their face or anything,
Mhm.
um, and then like they get catfished, or they either become aware of like what's happening and they like don't talk to
Mhm.
them.
Yeah. And
That's
then
scary.
another thing I noticed about like online dating and communication, it's like so
Mm.
you know how you like message on the app, right? And then maybe like you give them your
Yeah.
number, and then you start texting,
Mm-hmm.
and then like they turn their read receipts on, and
Oh.
then you like text them, and it's like, oh my god, they read it, but they never responded. Like,
Yeah.
what is happening? Like,
Mm-hmm.
do they hate me? And then it'd be
Yeah.
like days on days, and they'd be like, they haven't texted me back yet. Or like 20 minutes have passed. They're like, oh my god, they haven't responded. I'm like, dude, really?
Calm down.
I know.
True.
They're probably busy or something, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess that brings like another question, like what do you think about ghosting or like people leaving people
Oh,
on
it's a really
red,
good question.
Yeah.
Ghosting? I'd rather you just say, "Oh, sorry, I'm not like that interested" or
Like
something like
interested.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because otherwise you
Yeah,
just
at
be
least that
waiting and
lets
sitting
the other
there.
person, yeah, lets the other person know
Mhm.
that you're not interested, and they can both parties can just like stop,
Yeah.
or at least know that it's not gonna work out.
Yeah, I feel like it's more respectable
Um,
that way. You don't just like completely
mm-hmm.
ignore someone anymore. I feel like it's kind of sad. Like, wouldn't you hate it
Yeah,
if someone did that to you too? You know?
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I guess it also just depends on like the situation, right? So if someone's like
True.
being
True.
really, really forward and you're not comfortable with like talking to them anymore, and you just rather not talk, like respond or talk to them, and you feel like
Mhm.
safer not responding to them,
Mhm.
then in that sense, like
Agreed.
go for it, I guess. But
Exactly. Yeah.
but also, I guess just having that final like, hey, I don't want to talk to you, or I'm not interested in like pursuing something
Mhm.
further with you, like, and then leaving it at that, and then ghosting afterwards
Yeah.
if they try to be like, no, come back.
I'm like, well, no, I already told you I wasn't
Yeah.
interested. You're just not
Yeah,
listening
exactly.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I know like some people get. I know there's this like one MTV show. I think that I forgot what it was called. It might have just been called Ghosting or something. But there's this one show
Oh,
that
really?
like, yeah, there's this. I was like, I watched this one YouTube video about like commenting on like this one MTV like series.
Uh huh.
And then there's about these two like the hosts. Like they get this person that like
Mhm.
has had like some has had someone in their life like ghost them, and they try to track
Mhm.
this person down and ask them why they ghosted them.
Oh my
And so
god.
yeah, it's like super uncomfortable, right? So and then like so the episode that I like watched this guy like comment on was about this like guy who believes he got ghosted for no reason, and then
Mhm.
like the girl um like they find the girl eventually and like contact like they find the girl through like
No.
mutual like friends from the guy, I guess, or like they track him down like that way, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, right. And like it's like, how do they find? Isn't that kind of like
That is
strange?
so
Like
uncomfortable. That's
it is because it's
borderline
also like,
stalkerish.
yeah, I would find that so creepy. Like someone came up to me, be like, "Why'd you ghost this person?" And it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
like
like
I
you don't
did.
need to
That's
know
none of
that.
your
Yeah,
business, you know?
exactly. Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's all for like drama, so I'm not sure if this actually like
Oh,
happened in
that's
real
true.
life.
That's true.
But also, like, even in that sense, like, even if it wasn't real, it's still like the
Mhm.
premise of it just sounds so crazy and like creepy to
Mhm.
just like try to track this person down that this person hasn't talked to in a while, just to like
Yeah.
try to make
No.
amends, I guess.
No.
And at the end,
That's
like, they're
so
supposed to
much.
like once they find the person that ghosted them, they're supposed to like talk it out, like, why'd you ghost me, blah blah blah. I don't really remember
Oh
the
my
reason why she
god.
ghosted him, but in the end, but like at the end of like the episodes, they're supposed to like say if they forgive him or like will get back together with them or not. And I find that so weird too. Yeah,
You've got to be kidding me. That is not a thing.
it
That's
is. I don't think it's
horrifying.
continuing anymore, but I
I would
know
hope
like I had
not.
watched a yeah, I had watched like a video
Dang.
commenting on this show, and I was like, oh god, like oh, it's so creepy.
That is very creepy. Jesus. That's nuts.
Yeah. So I guess if you feel comfortable, um, I don't know, not comfortable, but if you like, have a good reason to ghost someone, then you
Yeah.
can do
If
it.
you're
But
uncomfortable, just
yeah,
don't talk to them. But
yes,
if you feel like they're a cool person and you just weren't interested in them, be cool to talk to them. And be like,
yeah,
hey,
exactly. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Just like let them know, or you just give them that final thought, like, hey, I don't want to talk to you
Yeah.
anymore, not
hmm
interested. Leave it at that.
What are your thoughts on confessing to someone you like?
Oh gosh, I know we had like glossed over this briefly, like in the beginning, but I just
Yeah.
find it so hard. It's so hard.
I never have. I'm usually the, oh, I like you too.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes. I've
Weird
only ever.
story.
Oh yes, go ahead.
So how my boyfriend asked me out was just, little backstory, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
We were watching, I think I've talked about this before, but we were watching Your Name, right? And then
Yeah. Oh, good
before the
movie.
movie started, he was like, I have something to tell you. And I was like,
Oh.
okay. And then he would just sit there. Are you going to say something?
Hello.
He would
Yeah.
just be like, and I'm like, okay. Like in my mind, I was like, okay, he's gonna confess to me. I already know it, but I'm just gonna let him like take the time for him
Mm.
to say it because I'm not gonna say it first, and I just
Yeah.
want him to gather up the courage. And then I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let's just start the movie then. He's like, okay. And then so we watched it. And then I was like, okay, is there something you want to tell me? And then he sat there and he was like, and I was like,
Oh.
okay, so, and then he said it and I was like, oh my God, thank you. I was waiting for you to say something this whole time.
Oh.
And then we talked about it. And then we were talking
Yeah.
about how we would have to do like a long distance relationship and we weren't sure if we
Yeah.
wanted to do it. And then 2
Mhm.
weeks later we were like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
So
See what happens.
that's that. But
And
yeah.
now, almost a year later.
I know, crazy.
Yay.
But yeah, I don't confess. I just spend more time with them, and then when they
Yeah.
see me more, it means they'll like me at the end of the day, right? And you see a
Yes.
person a lot, it'd be like, hey, you know.
Yeah. Do you wanna? Are we
I
doing
know.
something
Okay.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, like, it's kind of been different with all the people I've been with. So, like, my first, like, real relationship, uh, we went to a dance together, and we never
Mm-hmm.
really, like, said something. I think I talked about this too. Like, we never really said something to each other. But it's just kind of like, we just assumed we were, together.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a thing, like boyfriend, girlfriend, everyone else knew, like, from our friend groups knew
Mm.
too. So then, but we never really, like, asked each other, like, hey, do you want to, like, be together? We just kind of like
The
assumed
official?
that because we went to this dance together. Because he like
Yeah,
asked me
yeah,
to this
yeah.
dance, right? But like
Uh-huh.
not like asked me to be his
Yeah.
partner.
Yeah.
And I didn't ask him either.
Yeah.
But we had a breakup, so I guess we were together. um, and then. And then my second relationship after that, like, I remember this very distinctly because I was actually the one who, like, confessed to him
Oh,
or, like, asked him out.
spicy. Let's go.
Yeah. But it was really funny because I remember, like, me and my friend, like, my best friend at the time, like, she had a boyfriend at the time, and she, like, knew I liked this guy, right? So then we had, like, coordinated this, like, double date together,
Mhm.
even though, like, me and this guy weren't together yet. But we were like, oh, let's all go together to get, like, dinner, and then we'll go
Yeah.
to the mall after and hang out.
Ooh.
And then so after we had, like, dinner, we all went to the mall, and then they split up from us because, like, my friend, like, knew. She was
That's
like, all
how
right,
it
it's your
always
time.
works.
Yeah. She's like, all right, we're gonna go over here. We're gonna go, like, to the side of the mall. You guys, like, do whatever. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
okay.
Okay.
And then
You do that.
and then, like, I was trying to, like, build up the courage to, like, say something.
Yeah.
And then so when you were telling your story about, like, him just going, like, that
Yeah.
was me, like,
like-
yeah, so we were, like, walking, like, around the mall, and then we weren't really, like, saying much. We were, like, doing kind of our small talk or whatever, and, like, the whole time I was thinking, like, okay, I just gotta do it. Like, I just have to, like, ask him, to see. Because he was, like, giving me, like, positive signs, right, that he was
Okay.
into me too.
Okay.
So I wasn't, like, too nervous about rejection, but, you never know still.
Yeah.
And it was still, like, scary to, like, do that. And so what ended up happening was that, like, towards the end of, like, the night, like, when we were about to leave, like, we were, like, walking all the way across. It took, like, us, like, walking back and forth from, like, the mall to, like, for me to muster up the courage to be like, hey, do you want to, like, go out with me? But it took, like, maybe, like, an hour or so for me to, like, just me to say something. But also, he didn't say anything either. So I think he was, like, you in that
Waiting.
situation, just waiting for the other
Yeah,
party
like,
to, like, say something.
Mhm.
But I just remember that being, like, one of the, like, most terrifying moments of my life.
Yeah, it's
just trying to,
scary.
like, say something.
Yeah.
So I get your boyfriend's pain of,
Yeah.
like, trying to muster up the courage.
Mhm.
But yeah, also, right, like, now thinking about it, it's just really funny. Just like,
I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
it's like most cases, you get nervous to ask someone that
Yeah.
you like if that you like them.
yeah, exactly. But yes, that's one of the ones that I had. And then my last relationship, like, he was actually the one who asked me, and so I was like, oh,
Okay.
what a nice change of pace.
I know, huh? I don't have to do any work.
I know, yeah.
They just come to me.
Yeah. I mean, I wish now, but
Well, it's hard out there. When I was
it is
single
hard.
in like
It's so
2019,
hard. Oh my goodness.
I was not looking for anyone, but also like, God, how am I supposed to find someone attractive in this world?
I know. It's so hard now.
It
I don't even
just
know what
happens.
to do.
I don't know.
I hope it does for me.
It
We'll
really just
see.
comes out of nowhere, to be honest. Like, smack.
Yes.
Damn, there he is.
Yeah, but lately, like, I haven't really been trying too much too, because also, like, I'm
Mhm.
scared. So,
Yeah, yeah. Understandable.
so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Oh my god. I just thought about something. So,
Yes.
when my boyfriend was like, we're kind of in that flirting phase, he woke up in the middle of the night one day and he wasn't feeling well. He was still in Japan. He
Okay.
was like, oh my god, I don't feel well. And I was like, oh my god, what happened? Are you okay? He was like,
Mhm.
oh my god, my poops are so bad. And then he went into a bunch of detail about like the
Oh.
ramen he ate the last night and how it was like too much for him. And then he gave me details about his poop. And I was like, is this your way of flirting with me? Because you don't talk about your poop to someone you like.
Yeah.
But I was also
I
trying
get-
like kind of okay with it because that's just how he is. And
Yeah.
I've known him for a while, so I was like,
Mhm. What's happening?
can you not like talk to me about this stuff when I like you?
Yeah.
Like it's a little too much detail for me, but it's okay. You know, I forgive you and everything. But God,
What's
if this is your
happening?
way of flirting,
It's not it.
no, no.
I mean, I guess that's good that he was comfortable enough with you to tell you his personal detail. Oh, he's so funny. Have you ever had like a big prom asking happen, like, at your school?
So the prom asking thing, this is like homecoming actually, but there's this
Mhm.
guy that really liked me in sixth grade, and I actually kind of had a crush on him too.
Ooh.
And then, 6 years later, we were in senior year of high school,
Oh wow. Mhm.
and I guess I started talking to him more again. So I was like, kind of like you, but I'm obviously not gonna say anything. So he asked me to homecoming with like he gave me something like every period that I was in. Like my
Oh.
first period, I got like some green tea frappuccino or something, and then second, third,
Mhm.
fourth, and sixth. I don't know. I forgot what the rest of them were, right? And
Mhm.
then I walked down for lunch, and there's just a big poster, and I was like, oh my
Aw.
god, can you not do that?
Yeah.
And then my senior year prom, I had a boyfriend at the time. That was not him, unfortunately. He decided it was a good idea to dance in front of the whole school.
Whoa.
And I was standing there like, okay,
Mhm.
yes. Well, let's just say no.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, I don't like it when the people make a big thing about it. It is so awkward. I just have to sit there and look
Oh,
people
no.
dance. So what about you?
Um,
Any
so
big
I think
prom
like at my
outings?
school, yeah, so I think at my school, like mostly it was just like posters and stuff.
Yeah.
Like people would make posters for other people.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I don't know, I don't think it's anything's like ever been like, let's do a dance for this person. Or like,
Really?
yeah, or like I don't know, not that I'm aware of, but it's
Oh,
mostly
uh-huh.
just like posters being brought out, in front of the person.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I
Mhm.
usually did for like um for the people like I asked, because like I asked
You asked people?
yeah, or I asked my friend. So like we like agreed to go together,
Oh.
and then like I asked him like
Oh,
through posters,
okay.
and I also like asked my boyfriend at the time to senior prom, because he wasn't a senior, so like it was like I kind of had to take the initiative on that one.
Dang.
And then I would like help like my friends with like their askings too, and then I
Mhm.
remember I was helping my friend, and he was trying to ask out his girlfriend, who was like my really good friend, and
Mhm.
then like I'm really bad at keeping secrets, so
Me too.
like yeah, so I kind of like spilled the beans on like him. Like she knew it was like happening because they were together, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But she didn't
of
know
course.
like when it was gonna happen, or like
Oh, uh-huh. Mhm.
and then I kind of like spilled the beans, and
Uh-oh.
not like in full details or anything, but like
Okay.
she was like aware that like more aware that it was gonna like happen like now and then,
Yeah.
and then yeah.
What?
So I'm not good at keeping secrets.
Yeah, it's exciting
Um,
when you want to tell someone, like,
Yeah,
hey, they're gonna
exactly.
ask you.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't think anything ever like, or not that I was aware of like anything bigger had ever happened. I do know like one time I think like one of my peers like got asked, and then like later, like I guess they didn't end up going with them.
Oh my god.
So it's kind of like
Aw.
I was like when you were telling your story, I was like, oh, like I think sometimes like it's hard to say no in public, right?
Yeah.
But then like what if you don't actually want to like go with them? Because like what if you just feel pressured to like say yes to
Yeah, I
them
feel
like in
in
public?
those
It's like
cases you
scary.
kind of have to, and then you tell them privately, like, actually, no.
Yeah, like no.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay, but thanks.
Yeah.
um
I had
so I
this
guess
one.
it's like
Oh, go ahead.
oh no, no. I was just gonna say, like, I guess it's like I still feel like a fun thing to do, but also I would just make sure beforehand, like, if you guys
Okay.
really want to go together, so you don't have that weird like awkwardness afterwards, like if you
Yeah,
don't actually want to go with them.
that's true. I had a friend who was in high school, and then like somebody asked her, and then she was like, "No, I have to do laundry."
Like at
I
school,
was like,
or
"Huh?" I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "What the heck?" But okay, sure, laundry, I guess.
oh my god, that's wait. Was this at like school too? Like, oh, I have to
I
do laundry like at
I
school.
think so.
That's
No,
so funny.
laundry like at home. Like she was
Yeah.
like, "I have to do laundry on prom weekend." Sorry. Let's just jump
Oh, wait.
into our next topic, which we're going to talk about love languages. Shout out to Miss Kim Ai and Tanisha for having a podcast episode about this. If you
Yes.
are interested in listening to their podcast, let's go to kinda.tempted on Spotify and Instagram, and you'll probably see it there. But we're going to talk
Yeah.
about ours for a little bit because we felt a little inspired by
Yes.
what they came up with. Because I guess we're going to go into the communication portion of
Mm-hmm.
our podcast now. So I think it is a pretty good starter.
Segue. Yes.
Yeah.
A good segue into it.
All right, so we took the quiz and we have our results. Would you like to go
Yeah.
first?
Yes. Actually, let me get my phone. I left it over there
Oh,
because it has my results.
love that for you.
Okay, so I can go first. So,
Okay.
like we mentioned before, like when you take this test, it has like you pick what like relationship status yours is.
Mhm.
I'm not too sure like how that affects your results
Yeah, I
or
was thinking that too.
anything.
Like, what's the difference for that? Like,
Yeah, right. But I guess like if since you picked something different, like because you're in a relationship, maybe we'll see if there's something different.
I guess.
But I took the quiz for
Mhm.
single people,
Mhm.
and then so my result was my primary love language is quality time.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't know if I should read this description, but
I guess you
I
can read
guess
like the five in order. I
yeah.
guess, if you want.
So I guess like the top part just says in quality time, nothing says I love you like full undivided attention. Being there for this type of person is critical, but really being there with the TV off, fork and knife down, and all chores and tasks on standby makes me feel truly special and loved. So, and I guess like I do appreciate when people, like spend time with me,
Yeah, of course. I understand
and like that's like I don't know, like I do like spending time with the person, and like gifts and stuff like don't really like matter
that.
too
Yeah.
much to me.
Mhm.
But like just having the person being there and like we're doing activities together, spending time
Mhm.
with each other, like that's always nice for me.
Yeah.
So I do agree with like these results.
Yeah. What about your second, third, fourth, and fifth in order? Did
My
you
what?
Did you get like the other ones? Like, was it like a order of like
Oh, I know.
quality time, words of
Yeah, yeah. It
affirmation,
like
stuff
gave me
like
like
that?
percentages.
Oh yeah, what are those? Curious.
So my quality time is 33%,
Mhm.
receiving gifts is 10%, physical touch is 13%, acts of service is 20%, and then
Mhm.
words of affirmation is 23%.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
guess like quality time and words of affirmation are the big ones for me,
Okay.
and then
That's
it slowly goes down from there.
All right. So, my primary love language is also quality time at
Yay.
37%, which is kind of sad because I'm in a long distance relationship, so it's
Oh
really hard to
no!
have
Oh,
that
so
quality
sad.
time,
Yeah.
especially when you're like on a video. I mean, I guess that counts, right? But then you're probably
Yeah.
distracted doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably watching something else on the screen or whatever. So it's really hard,
Yeah.
but making it work so far, so it's actually not bad.
That's good. Yeah.
Second, I have acts of service at 30%.
Okay.
Words of affirmation 20. Physical touch, which is 10, which makes sense given that I'm not with him about the
Yeah.
majority of the time.
Mhm.
And then receiving gifts is 3.
Whoa,
3%.
really?
I do
Oh,
not
wow.
care for gifts. I think I'd much rather have like quality time or just have him like, do the dishes or go pick up something at the grocery store if I'm busy,
Yeah.
like I prefer that. I think a
Yeah.
lot more than here's a necklace.
Yeah, like
Thanks.
yeah, I find it so hard to like find gifts for like the like significant other
Mhm,
or like even
mhm.
like my mom. Like it's so hard to find gifts for like
I agree.
people that you care about. So I never know like what to give for like Christmas or like birthdays and
Yeah,
stuff.
I feel
Like I
that.
just yeah.
I always try to give them something practical. So, or I ask
Yes.
them, "What do you want?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"I want this." Okay, I'll buy it for you.
Yeah.
You know,
It's just
like
hard when they don't know what they want and it's like, oh
yeah.
dang
So
it.
listen, like I'll give you a coupon for me to like do the dishes for you one day, or
Mm-hmm.
I'll buy you a boba one day, or
Like one of those
something
like
like I
coupon
don't
books.
know. Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
Um, but yeah, I don't know what the other love languages. Oh, I guess the other ones are quality time, receiving gifts, physical touch. Um, but yeah, it's cool how we're like the same one. So I don't know what the difference is between like
Yeah.
being in a relationship or like not being in one. But if you know, let us know.
I don't know.
Kamaya
It's
Tanisha, if you know.
I know, right? And the other one, like with the description of quality time, mine also says distraction, postponed dates, or the failure to listen can be especially hurtful. And then quality time also means sharing quality conversation and quality activities.
Okay. Oh, maybe the description is a little bit different.
It's only those two
So
sentences though, so
yeah, it's only those two sentences.
yeah,
Mine is different only because it says postpone activities.
yeah.
Postpone dates, and then it says something different like towards the bottom too. It says whether it's spending time uninterrupted time talking with someone else or doing activities together, you deepen your connection with others through sharing time.
Maybe it's like for a single like looking to find someone, maybe
Yeah,
something like that.
like versus already being with someone.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess that
I
makes
guess
sense,
so.
but I guess like the general idea is like the same, right? Like we both like
Yeah.
to spend quality time with the people we love.
Like do something
Um,
fun that we
yeah,
both like or
yeah,
find
and
it
I guess that
enjoyable.
like, and I guess that makes sense because you were also talking about like your experience with long distance and like for my relationships, like I think like my past ones, like they've all kind of turned into long distance relationships. So like
Mm.
I had a boyfriend from senior year of high school to like end of first year of college, and then in that time I had moved from one area to
Mm-hmm.
another for college, so that became a long distance relationship. And then the most recent one that I was in also became a long relationship because it was like towards the end of college.
Yeah, and then you have to
So
go back home
yeah, and then
usually.
we both didn't live in the same area even though
Yeah.
we were both like located in SoCal.
Yeah.
It was still like a distance for us to tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I want to say like maybe this quality time like love language stemmed from me wanting to spend more time with like the person that I
Yeah.
care about, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
harder when the person's not near you or
Yeah.
it's not convenient to like hang out.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But I guess I like we tried to make it work like for both of my relationships, but in the end it didn't work out. Not
Mm-hmm.
because of like the distance. I guess it was like a factor, but it wasn't like a super
Communication,
big.
maybe.
Yes, it was mainly just yeah.
Yeah.
Communication is very important.
It really is, but it's really hard. Easier said than done, of course.
Oh, for real. I agree.
We'll go into that.
Yes.
All right.
Um,
So, next question is, do you believe in sign compatibility or horoscopes? Yes.
Sometimes I like get curious, like,
Me
like
too.
which one am I most like supposed to be like attracted to or like compatible with?
Yes. I read
I don't.
this all the time. I don't know why it's so interesting to read. People are
It
like, dude,
is,
it's just
yeah.
generalized statements about the moon. And I'm like, okay, I
Yeah.
guess. But it's so fun to read.
It is really fun. I'm not like one of
Mm-hmm.
those people that's super into it though, but like if it comes up, then I'll like read it and I'll be
Yes.
like, oh,
Yes.
interesting. Like,
Oh, like, hey, what time were you born? You know?
oh yeah.
When and where?
I actually don't know like what time I tried to ask my mom once, and
Mhm.
then she was like, "Why do you need to know?" And I was like, "I just want to know
Birth
my
certificate,
star
right?
sign." Yeah. So
Mhm.
I have no idea. Like, I also don't know like what blood type I am.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, I've never really asked.
Oh.
I was like, I've never like donated blood either.
Not true, same.
So I've never like had the opportunity. But also, I don't really need to know right now, so it's
Yeah,
okay.
like,
Maybe
oh,
I'll ask my mom again one day.
yeah.
But do you know like what sign you're supposed to be compatible with?
Okay, so I read mine like 1,000 times by now. Like Libra is
Mm-hmm.
like blah blah blah, and they're most compatible I think with Gemini's, and Aquariuses, and like Aries, I think something like that. And my boyfriend now is an Aquarius, which is cool.
Ooh.
And then the guy that I talked about earlier that I was
Mhm.
thinking about going into a relationship with is Gemini.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay. So I was like, I don't know if it'll work out, but it gives me more
Yeah.
hope, you know? Maybe it's
Mhm.
just a sense of security. Maybe it's not even true. But it just
Yeah.
gives people like a better sense of like security. Yeah. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this is going to be okay.
Yeah. I am an Aries,
Mm-hmm.
so I am compatible with you. I think, right? Yes.
Mhm.
I don't really know like what I'm not compatible with though. I'm trying to look right now.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I've been curious. Like, I definitely looked it up. Like when I've been with people, but
Mm.
I've never been like, oh, this like is a defining factor of like why I'm not with
Oh,
them, or like
definitely
why I'm
not.
gonna break
Yeah.
up with them. You know, like
Like,
stuff like that.
if I was interested in someone and they're like a sign that I'm totally not compatible with, I'm not gonna be like, no, I
Yeah.
can't date you
Yeah.
because you're
Right.
not, one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Everyone's different.
Yeah. So I guess like people like just are want to be with the people they want to be with,
Mm-hmm.
no matter like what their like sign is. But it's still nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's still like interesting to like read about these things.
It really is.
Um,
It gives me so much time to like think about stuff.
yeah, and I guess it's like a good like starting point, right? So it's like
Mm-hmm.
you can like reflect on your relationship with this person, or like see what online advice there is to give for
Yeah.
yourself if something's like not going right, or
Mm-hmm.
like maybe they give you like good advice of like what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
According to this website, my compatible signs or the signs that I should consider are Sagittarius, Leo, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. So almost similar to
Oh, so
yours,
me.
but adding Leo and Sagittarius.
Yeah. Okay, well,
So if
I
any of
guess
you
you
are
could fall within
those,
that realm, but I might not be like you have to follow those rules, but it's something to think
yeah,
about, I guess.
it is very interesting though. And I wish I knew more about it, but again, I only read it if it comes up.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, still very
Same. Like
interesting.
I'm not gonna read it right now and be like, hey,
Yeah,
you
like
know. So.
yeah. So I guess like moving on to more communication. How do you communicate effectively to your partner, or what is your approach to breaking something up, like that you want to talk about with someone?
I don't. I barely know how to communicate. Well, okay, I'm getting
Same.
better at it, but it's still really hard. Like
It is.
every person you date has a different communication style, and then when
Mm-hmm.
you go into a new relationship, you're used to what you had before, so that might not work the same. So you
Yeah.
have to go and figure everything out, and that might result in like you getting into an argument or
Mm-hmm.
like messing up somewhere where they get mad, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm sorry, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So it's really hard.
Like sometimes the best way I think is just to like throw it out there.
Yeah, you have to bring it up sometime. You can't
Yeah.
just keep it in your heart, and then one day you're gonna
Yeah.
explode, and that's
Mm-hmm.
not fair for them or you, to
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah, and it's also it goes this other way, right? So like you have to also, or like the other person also has to effectively respond to you and not just
Mhm.
like be closed off and like not want to talk about it
Exactly.
too.
Yeah, I totally
'Cause
agree with that.
yeah, because I know like for one of my relationships, like we never really had arguments, so because we never really like thought to bring like stuff that was bothering us, so it was just very like
Mm-hmm.
passive, and like we kind of just let things go, and it wasn't like that I was bottling up like so much, but it's just like we just never really talked about like the stuff that bothered us about our relationship with each
Mm-hmm.
other, to the point where it was just kind of like feelings kind of dissipated and kind of fizzled out.
Mm-hmm.
um, so it wasn't like a bad breakup or anything because of this, but it's just like I feel like maybe if we communicated more about like what we were feeling and things like that, maybe it would have like lasted longer, or like
Mm-hmm.
we could have talked about it more and like been more like
Mm-hmm.
close instead of just like kind of becoming distant over time.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But I know like my another relationship that I had too was like I would try to, so because of like that experience, like I wanted to try to communicate more like with myself, and like be more outspoken with like what I was feeling, but then
Mm-hmm.
like the other person didn't want to like reciprocate back, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
hard in that sense, where both people have to learn to openly say like what they're feeling about anything.
Yeah, I agree. For me, when I was really young in like middle school and high school, I just
Mm-hmm.
cried. And then they'd be like, "What's wrong?" And then
Mm-hmm.
I'd tell them,
Oh.
you know. And then
Yeah.
I feel like it's whatever I bring up is like stupid, so I try not to say anything.
Oh.
So I just
Yeah.
stand there and cry because I was very sensitive.
Oh. Oh.
And
And
then
that's okay.
yeah, in my relationship before the one I am now, I feel like it was kind of really hard for me to bring something up because I just feel like they'd get mad. Be like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
understand
Oh
what
my
the
God.
big
I
deal is.
understand.
And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, this is my thoughts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then I just feel like, okay, then I just won't bring it up anymore because I
Yeah.
also don't want them to be upset. I just want them to be happy. So for me to some extent in that relationship that meant for just me to not express my opinion,
Yeah.
and then to just do whatever they want,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Oh my
very not
God.
healthy.
I understand that so much.
Yeah, so I just thought like, okay, well, what I think apparently doesn't matter, so I'm just not going to say anything, and I'll
Yeah.
just do whatever they want me to do, and that should be okay, right?
Yeah.
And then when something happens and it bothers me, I don't say anything, but I'm visibly bothered by my facial
Yeah.
expressions.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, what's wrong? And then I tell them, they're like, okay, then why didn't you tell me this earlier? And I'm like,
Yeah.
hello?
I
Hello?
tried.
You weren't very welcome to when I had concerns earlier on, so I just closed
Yeah.
myself off.
Mm-hmm.
And then so now it's very hard for me to like bring things up, but I think we're
Yeah.
working really hard to like help me like bring things, and it's
That's
been
good.
working.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I try
good.
to bring things up as soon as something bothers me, and
Yeah.
then we'll talk about it. Sometimes we're busy, so we'll talk about it later.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I still keep it in, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
still visibly bothered, and he's like, okay, you're bothered, what's up, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And then he has like that mentality of like the we thing. It's just
Hmm.
stupid. It's a cliche, gross. But it's like, we'll figure it out. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, that makes me feel a little better. Better than
Yeah.
like, oh, what you're saying in your opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah. Or like
Dumb.
getting mad at you because of whatever's going on.
I know,
Like,
like it's not
that's
my
not
fault
fair.
that I didn't feel like saying anything because I thought you'd get mad.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I guess that's like also an important part, like hearing what the other person has to say and not getting too like worked up about it.
Mhm.
And just trying to hear them out and understand their perspective, like empathy, right? So,
Mhm. I
um,
personally am pretty fixated on my opinions.
okay.
Sometimes, like I will
Yeah.
just zoom in on one thing and I will stay there until
Mm-hmm.
maybe I calm down, and then they'll
Okay.
be like, "Okay, actually, you're right."
Yeah.
So that's something
Yeah.
I also kind of need to like
Yeah. I think like for
relax
me,
on.
true. I think for me, like I'm pretty open. I like to say I'm open-minded, but also I have like my initial, like opinion first. But like
Yeah.
I'm open to like talking about it and like
Mhm.
potentially changing my mind if
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you know it if I feel it's right.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I also just think like I don't know, just talking to someone is hard.
It really is. It's like,
Or like if you want to like get to know someone, like it's hard to initiate that conversation with someone.
what is your favorite color?
I know. What are you doing right now? Like
Yeah, like, hey, how's
how's
it
it going?
going?
It's so hard.
I know. It
Especially
is,
now.
but
So I guess it's like
guess,
another form of communication, right? Like if you want to not even like if you're in a
yeah.
relationship, like if you just want to like start something as we talked about
Yeah.
earlier, like flirting, not even like flirting,
Mhm.
just like initiating a conversation. It's so hard.
Yeah. I feel like a good way for that right now is just to send memes.
Ayy.
Just send funny memes to each other and then
True.
start
That's
something,
the way of
right?
social
Like,
media, right? Or like comment on like their
yeah.
stories. Oh my god. Because that brings up my one attempt. I don't know if I should. I mean, it's funny. I think it's funny.
Yeah, just say it.
Okay, it's funny. So I tried talking to this guy. Maybe um this person. I tried talking to this person,
Mhm.
and I like commented on their Instagram story. Not really like looking too much, but I was like, maybe this will
Yeah,
happen. Maybe
maybe.
something will happen.
Yeah.
He had posted a picture about um eggs and like cause so in in Thai culture, there's this food that you make with like eggs and fish sauce, and it's
Mm.
called kaichio. So it's just like
Okay.
fried egg. It's basically
Ooh,
just
yum.
like fried egg, yeah. You mix it together and then you just like let it cook, and then you serve it. It's like a big like not scrambled egg, but it's like a big like egg pancake kind of.
Okay, okay, yeah.
But it's basically just like soy sauce and egg,
Okay.
and then or fish sauce. And this person had posted this picture about it on their Instagram story, and I was like, "Whoa, I know what that is." And then so, like, I was like, "Oh, maybe like I'll talk to this person, right?" And then we had this like in-depth conversation about eggs. And then and then I didn't really know like what else to say besides like this conversation about eggs, and I was like too scared to say like, hey, what are you doing right now, like how's it
Yeah.
going, how's your
Yeah.
weekend? And then so I just kind of like let it die. Which is funny because it's like the most random thing to like talk about, and like how do you
Eggs.
get away from that, like how do you get away
That's
from like
true.
a conversation about eggs?
I would just leave it. Like,
Yeah.
okay, if you're gonna stop responding, then
Like,
I'm gonna
alright,
stop
bye.
responding. I'm like, okay.
And it's just like that, like I mentioned before, like I'm like a daydreamer, right? So like I was like hoping that like maybe it would go somewhere, and like I was always like thinking about it. I was like, maybe he'll
Dude,
say something,
same.
but
Mhm.
but again, like you gotta be like a woman boss, like fight for
Girl
what you want. I
boss.
talked to my sister, girl boss. I talked to like my sister about this too, and she was like, you gotta take the reins on your life, like.
Wow.
Even though like her, like in her experiences, she's never taken the reins either.
That's funny.
But yeah, I guess like because like she was telling me about this one like person that she was really into in high school,
Mhm.
and she just kind of like kept it for herself and never like told him. But
Yeah.
apparently like after after they got out of high school, like he also had feelings for her.
Oh.
So like and then she like told me like, oh, it's like what if it did happen, like
Yeah.
like the what ifs and like things like
Ugh,
that.
the what
She's
ifs
like,
are such
take
a
the reins
dangerous
on your
place to
life,
go.
like go for what you want, blah blah blah. Even though like I've never done it.
Yeah.
But she has that like what if sometimes. But she's in
I
a
do
like
too.
happy relationship now.
Oh.
But like she does sometimes like think about it, just like
Mhm.
randomly when those like thoughts pop up. 'Cause, like where would you be, like if this happened or like this happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, communication, eggs.
About eggs.
Fun.
Anything. Yeah.
And Annika knew this story too.
Oh yeah.
So
But
funny.
I just like listening to it because it's just so funny.
It's just so random. Like,
Hey, at least you
but-
tried. That's an A+ on your part. You tried.
I
You took
mean,
the step.
yeah, I tried a little bit, but I was too scared to like say anything else. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, if you're listening to this person,
Hi.
sorry.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, hit me up again, maybe.
Let's just hope this person isn't listening. Because this is her way of flirting.
Hey, at least maybe he'll know more about like how I do things.
The context behind the eggs conversation.
But the egg story.
Yeah. He just probably doesn't know,
Yeah.
But now he will if he listens.
If he's listening, but yeah.
Anyway,
Hey. All right.
with that note.
With that note, any last thoughts about like communication, love languages, flirting, things like that?
Well, if you're having trouble communicating to regardless of who it is, don't worry. Everybody goes through the same thing. I have no advice for you because I am not an expert in communicating, but we are working on that. As
Yeah.
long as you're working on it, that means you want progress, which is going to
Yes.
show as long as you keep working.
Yes.
Speak up for
agree.
yourself. Your opinion matters.
It does. It
That's
really
what I have to
does.
say. Yeah.
Yes. I think mine would just be like what I was saying before. Like if you want to, potentially be with someone or like are interested in someone, like try not to be afraid of
Yeah.
like pursuing that. Like obviously, like I'm not the best at
Have
it.
a conversation about
After
it.
years.
Anything.
Yeah. Or like wait an hour at the mall and then
Yeah.
confess at the end.
Yeah, just watch a
But-
movie in the middle of your
Yes.
confession.
Oh my
No
God.
big deal.
No big deal. As long as you like get that out there eventually, if you really want
Yeah.
to be with this person, like make the effort to, and then, or if you even just like want to fix things, like make the effort to fix things or talk about it.
And then if the other person just isn't respectful of what you're saying and just disregards it, then they're not for you. You need to
Yes.
go.
Yes.
Regardless
get out
of
of
how
there.
good the relationship might be, just go.
Mm-hmm.
It's not nice.
Yes. True.
Yeah.
Take the reins on your own life, in my sister's
Yes.
words.
Confidence is very
Yes.
important in communication as well.
Yes. And
All
with
right.
that, this has been Vanessa,
This has been Annika.
and we'll
And
talk to you next time.
see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.